Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. It's me and the guys here, Shower Door Pros. As usual, it's kind of a holiday week. I know a lot of people are closing down for the whole week due to Independence Day. So I hope you are celebrating and being independent this week.
That's what I'm doing.
It's important, man. You gotta kind of kick up those heels and exercise your liberties and stuff. Because if you don't, it's like use them or lose them. So hopefully we'll get a few people on. We've got a few people on, but hopefully a lot of the regulars are going to show up. I don't know. I've had my head down working. I don't even know what's going on around the industry or whatever. I don't know if there's some news that I haven't heard about. But fill me in, man. What's going on out there? Staying busy?
We're staying pretty busy. Yeah, we're pretty busy. I've heard from other local shops that people are pretty slow, to the point where a lot of the glass fabricators are kind of cold calling shops to try and drum up business. So when you start getting calls from the fabricators, it kind of tells you, the industry itself in the area, I guess, is a little bit slow. But we've been pretty good. I mean, I didn't think I was going to get, too many phone calls today, but the phone was ringing like crazy. So that was good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having kind of a similar experience here. It's phones ringing, leads are coming in. Got a good system for that though. So it's like so that's good, keeps you from being bored.
Yeah.
Have you seen any changes in the types of work that you're getting?
Still getting a lot of shower doors. Been getting some calls for mirrored walls, in home gyms. That's kind of picked up a little bit. We do other stuff too. We still do insulated units and stuff like that. I've been getting quite a few calls for insulated units the past 2-3 weeks. And actually I was talking with Brian Jerd a little bit yesterday, because he had phased out altogether with insulated units, where he's strictly, frameless showers now. And he said, he kind of hit the ground running, hasn't looked back, and it's been pretty good. He and I have spoke before about, because I've kind of tossed it around in my head, toying with the notion of, phasing that type of work out. I don't know if I'm there yet. It's a fear thing for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's that fear that if I start turning that work away, am I going to be able to keep the wheels turning? So I still take it when it comes. And, there's tons of shower door guys in my area. A lot of them are strictly shower door guys and don't do glass replacements because I don't think they know how. So me offering that additional service is also kind of something that sets me apart from some of the other shops that would be considered competition. I mean, there's been times where I've gotten shower door jobs because I was able to do the window as well. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I still kind of toss it around and think about it, but haven't pulled any triggers yet.
I've noticed from the follow-up perspective of seeing
all the individuals that stay individuals and independent of how they do things, even if they start using the follow-up software we have or some of the other processes, they still stay true to who they were and who they are. What I've noticed is the ones that did take the leap, who always talked about it and finally just said, you know what, I'm only gonna offer this and say no to everyone else. They're the only ones who ever made the transition. Even us in Austin, we wanted to finish out our jobs, still say yes to a few, but slowly phase them out. A year and a half later, we were still doing those types of jobs. We never phased it out. It was only when we set a hard no and took that leap that we filled the gap with the product we actually wanted, filled the pipeline with what we wanted. There was that little fear. But what I noticed from our experience, it wasn't unique. When I saw 16 other companies who did full service or random variations of service, all of a sudden choose one or two more custom ones, take the leap. I haven't heard of one of them that decided to go back because they had to. Maybe because they wanted to, maybe because they wanted to be the unique identifier, and that let them in the door to also do showers like you're talking about. It gets you in the home. Like you sometimes you need the unique outlier to get you in the door. But what I noticed is no one that has taken the leap has said, you know what, it didn't work out for us. Or you know what, the margins weren't good enough. Or you know what, we actually upset too many customers. We found a way in our process, and I think they did too, to still serve the customer that called them, that trusted them, by finding someone else they trusted. Like, hey, I can't help you, but I got this guy, pushing business to him for this service. He's got my name behind it. And if he does you wrong, call me. Not going to recommend him no more, because people still call me because they trust me to recommend them. Even if I'm not the guy, I could still be the trusted person that directs them to somewhere where they still think of me when they want that product. Like, oh, he didn't help us for that thing he doesn't do anymore, but he's the one that referred us to the cool guys. Let's call him for that next thing he does do. We've experienced that. So that's what I would say on your end. I don't want to talk you into it because times are hard, but I just haven't seen anyone go back.
Okay. All right. That's comforting for sure.
I know Brandon, as one of the owners of a location, you know, I don't see the metrics, feel the fear, and feel the pressure of when industry racks its prices up in an email and everyone's emailing each other to say, hey, did you get that email too? Did your prices increase 30% too? Like, what just happened? I don't feel that pressure as the tech guy assisting owner. So the actual other guys who made the transition could probably give you better insight on what you need to brace yourself for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's that saying that nature abhors a vacuum. And it's weird and it's counterintuitive, but when you make that decision to just specialize in something and decide, yeah, we're not gonna do the stuff that we don't want to do anymore. Just gonna do that 20%, you know, the industry that gives us 80% of the money. It just seems to work somehow, and it's weird, and I can't really explain exactly how it is. It's just that, you know, it just shows up, and it's weird. Like, you know, I heard someone talk about, you know, if you need somebody for a certain position, just make that position ready for them. You know, make sure you've got the tools, make sure you've got, you know, if it's office staff, make sure you've got a spot, you've got a desk, you've got an office, you've got, you know, set that thing up so that when that person shows up, you can plug them right in. And it just goes back to that thing. You're kind of creating a vacuum in your business that's just going to suck in, you know, something good. That's the theory. So if you're just joining us, you know, we're just kind of talking a little bit about, you know, Brian brought up the idea of going to a strictly shower doors type of a business and starting to say no to some of those other things, you know, window replacements, IGUs, whatever it might be. And there's a little, you know, how there's a little bit of fear around that because you're never really quite sure if that's going to provide all the work that you're going to need. So that's kind of what we're kicking around. I know some of you guys probably have some experience with that.
Brian, did you get my message last night?
I did, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I kind of used that as the segue into it because it was a few months ago that you and I had originally talked about it, kind of tossing it around and considering it, thinking about it, kind of
Yeah.
mulling it over. And I think you said you officially did it, what, not that long ago, 6 months ago, 7 months ago?
Yeah, January. I started last year sometime, but January,
Okay.
I was official. Like I think February was my last official install
Okay.
for IGs, and I'm like I said in my message, I haven't looked back. It has been the best thing for me and my business, sanity wise, because I'm not running all over town chasing $450 average sale, and a lot of them, doing 5 stops a day, 6, 7 stops a day. That gets expensive, as we all know. It really was one of the better things that I've done for the business lately
Okay.
in a long time. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'd be happy to talk more about it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, CJ, I hate to single you out, but I mean, have you been on the call before? You look new to me. And you're on mute. Hate to single you out, man, but I will. Uh-oh.
He's still muted.
You're still muted.
There we
go.
go.
You got it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I always follow you guys, in the group chats or in the Facebook page, whatnot. So you guys go on live every week, but never hopped on with you guys. So first time. Nice meeting everyone.
Nice to meet you, man. Thanks for joining us. That's really cool. I'm glad you made the decision to pull the trigger and come on board.
Right. Well, I figured Glassfield's coming up in a couple months, so it'd be good to kind of start meeting everyone beforehand because I've went the past 2 years, but I just go solo, don't talk to anyone, just do my thing in and out.
I'm like that too, man. I'm shy, It's like I don't know. People don't believe that. They think I'm joking, but really I am,
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, we're out of Phoenix, Arizona. We just do glass shower doors, so only frameless shower doors. Yeah, I got a good group of us going, so it's a good time.
cool. Yeah, Phoenix is a big town, man. I actually lived there as a kid for a few years. And man, it's huge. It was big when I was a kid, but now it's like twice as big. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, from one city to the other now, you're almost an hour and a half, and they're just building everywhere they can, so keeps us busy.
Yeah. My dad was a glazer, and like so we went to Phoenix because it was booming. So yep, and it was, and it still is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
So now you're a good example. So you're just doing shower doors exclusively.
Yes, sir.
So is that how you started out, or did you move into that? What happened?
So not my company, actually. So I'm the general manager. I started when I was the 3rd employee. But it was, just frameless shower doors and the semi-frameless bypasses. And when I started, I mean, we were probably just doing like 6 a week. It was the owner, his best friend, and then they hired me on to, see what we could do. So we're doing about 25 to 30 a week right now. We got 10 guys, but there's plenty of work in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, there's already enough problems with just, frameless shower doors. I couldn't imagine trying to figure out the IGs as well and deal with all those issues and screen replacements and just everything. So it's kind of nice just specializing in. So when an issue comes up, you know what you're doing and can move right through it.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it helps us be efficient. So we enjoy it.
Right on. Well, who else? Come on.
I mean, us, we still do everything underneath the glass industry from, residential and commercial. There's no way we can let go. And I think for some of you guys, I don't know if you guys are solo guys or you guys only have one or you and a helper, but we have guys, we have 5 trucks and they're all on the road all the time. We got 2 maintenance guys that do they go in and repair windows, and we have a commercial guy, me, the shower door guy, and then my brother does windows. So I think it all comes down to, if you guys want to stretch that dollar and hire some people, it might help you guys. You guys don't have to all do it yourself. I'm in California, so that the cost of living is more. We got to pay them more, and insurance is more. Everything is more over here, but we're able to make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's one area we're not going to let go, because even though we have shower doors, we're busy in shower doors constantly, but there's some times where we have a downtime and we still have windows coming in, broken windows. Everybody's gonna have a broken window, even though like some of you guys said, it's $400. Okay, yeah, but that $400 is gonna pay for something that your office would need. It'll pay for somebody's wages for the day. It's just like, come on. You got to be there for your community. You can't just say, oh no, I don't want to do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Adrian, I'm glad you said that, because I felt that I did feel that. I felt that weight quite a bit, and I took that very seriously. But eventually, what happened is, what I took more seriously was the fact that I was not getting any younger. I was running all over town all day, every day, not getting quotes out because I was running around all day. And then at the end of the day, I'd look at what I did, and I installed, however many IGs, and I spent more money, not more money. I spent a lot of money on the road, literally, in my time and a helper's time, if I had them with me. I spent more money doing that than getting quotes out. It just, for me, it wasn't worth it. For somebody else, it might be. It's an individual decision, but I did feel the weight of the community. And at the end of the day, I decided it wasn't worth it. I was better for the community by focusing my efforts and being excellent at that than trying to be everything to everyone. That wasn't working for me.
Yeah, it's different. Different perspective.
Well, for us, to be honest with you, I don't want to tell you guys my secrets or nothing. But
Don't tell us your secrets.
Well, I'm in a town. I'm in a little town called Yuba City. I'm about 45 minutes north of Sacramento, and honestly, there is no competition out here for me at all. There's maybe like 1, 2, maybe 2 shops, and a lot of them are solo guys, or they're a shop that's set up, to its full capacity, like with office personnel, estimator, office manager, which we are. We have all that. And and so for us, it's, I guess, a little different because we're able to designate people to other parts of the business. You're not doing everything yourself. You probably don't want to get nobody because you don't want to, you want to keep that money for yourself. But it's, if you're feeling that stress, you got to get somebody to help you. You can't do it all by yourself. We did that for a little bit, but it was killer on me, on my dad, everybody else. We just had to get people and have people just do it for us. And it's been great. Yeah, we have, our mistakes here and there with our employees. It gets frustrating, but it's part of business, So, you just gotta just take out the wallet and pay. Come on now, guys.
It's not always just a matter of
hire some help, huh?
You gotta charge more. Come on. It can't be that guy that gives other people good deals. You gotta charge now. Come on. Charge the right amount and get paid.
What about your sense of the community, though?
My sense, my community. Hey, man, I gotta take care of my community. We're not. With I'm
being facetious, but you get it.
Oh yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
It's funny. That is funny, man. Yeah.
It's different for everybody. It just is.
It is different. I guess because I don't know, maybe you guys are in a bigger area, you guys have more people and stuff. Us, like I said, I think with all the surrounded areas and other little towns, I think we're like a little bit over 100,000 maybe, and that's not a whole bunch, but it keeps us busy. And and I do venture out, an hour away or 45 minutes. It's probably the max I'll go, but I do go that way, and and we'll take care of anybody. I mean, here, so we're like we're surrounded by a lot of rice fields, rice towns and stuff, and those people have money. They don't mind spending it, so I'll go and do whatever they want.
Hey,
So,
Adrian, how long have you guys been in business?
25 years.
Okay. And
We start.
that's something too. I mean, if you've been around for a while, and you've got that kind of footprint.
We outlasted the longest glass shop in town because of the way we do things, the way we take care of our customers, the way we. It's just it's the way we are, and then not to top it off, and our faith in God too helps a lot.
There you go.
So there you go.
Love it, man.
So
One for the big guy.
of course.
That's awesome.
Of course. Yeah, Biden all the way. 2024. Not playing. Not that big guy.
10%
Not that big guy. Not Sleepy Joe. I'm just playing.
But we digress.
Oh,
So Brian,
yeah.
are you considering making that move then? Brian?
Brian,
Mr.
I've
Schwartz?
I've been putting a little more thought into it maybe the past month or two. I kind of revisited it in my mind. I haven't really taken any action on it yet, but been thinking about it, and then read your message to me last night, and it kind of prompted a little deeper thought, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's tough because it's right now it's me and another guy, another mechanic who is he's kind of an all-arounder type of glazer. He doesn't have a ton of experience in frameless shower doors, and that's one of the things that raises concern, I guess is a good way to put it, is if I'm not taking on the little IGU replacements or the tabletops or whatever the smaller stuff is, am I going to be able to keep him busy? Like there's circumstances and situations where I can send him out solo to do a little window, and it kind of gives me time in the shop and the office to catch up on some paperwork, get some quotes out. Maybe I hit the road and go do a couple measures, collect some deposits. That opportunity for us to split up and do individual work on our own, as opposed to constantly having to be together and team up on an install. Once in a while it'll be a solo install, but for the most part it's two guys for a shower. We're constantly, almost everything's upstairs. We don't have a lot of one level ranch homes in this area, so you're carrying everything, and so that's part of it too. I guess there's a ton of things that kind of come into play, food for thought, but that's one of the things. So
yeah, it's not an easy decision, but and like I said, for me, I haven't looked back. It was definitely the right thing for me. I am looking for a full-time helper now, in case somebody's listening and wants to move to Chattanooga. But it was a big weight off my shoulder. I actually just said to my wife the other day, I said in my text to you, I'm glad that I'm not doing IGs anymore. It just is good for me. So what I did was I figured out how much did I do in everything besides frameless shower doors, last year or the year before that I had to replace that income for. And at a average sale of whatever it is, 2,200, 2,500, whatever your average sale is for a shower door, how many of those do you have to do every year to make up that total income? And then break it down I broke it down into the week, you know? And so I figured out what that is. And I've done more in 6 months now this year than I did in all of last year. And I'm pressing on. So it was a good thing.
Now, did you change your marketing tactics? Did you get, did you kind of get aggressive with your marketing, or how, how did your sales pick up, or was that just kind of by chance?
Part of it was, I have a company that does my online marketing. I contacted them and said, we need to change the website to shower doors only, frameless shower doors. We need to do all of our marketing, pay per click and all of that. Just change the marketing style. I didn't really spend at the beginning. I didn't spend any more money. I'm spending a little bit more money now on marketing, but for the most part, I just told them, hey, we need to change our focus. And they did. We were answering a lot of phone calls of course, at the beginning from the community saying, hey, we need IGs replaced. And we just referred them to somebody else. We also changed the name of the business, or it's a DBA now, Premier Frameless Shower Doors.
Wow.
That says what we do.
Nice.
We're still operating under Chattanooga Premier Glass, but as a DBA, that's how we're marketing. And so we get less and less calls for insulated glass. So that takes less of my office manager's time and some less of mine. So the marketing, it was more of a focus than it was a focus change than it was a big change. And it wasn't really that much of a dollar change. So, yeah. And you gotta get out there and, start talking to builders and, different things as you're out there already. You drive by a house, it looks like it's getting close for a shower door, stop in and leave a card at minimum, see if you can talk to the builder, whatever, you know how to do all that. So yeah, just focus.
Good stuff, man.
What about anybody else? Surely there's other people out there that have done the same thing.
Austin did Ames Mirror and Glass 20 years doing everything but automotive and eyeglass. And when I came in 20 years ago, I was doing that thing for them. 20 years later, I came back, they were doing it all the same way. And it was a struggle for them to say no to the entire community. And if they didn't kick me out of the front office, they'd probably still be doing windows and mirrors, because I kept saying yes to someone that would walk in and just say, we need this. And I know we got a shop full of SSB. We got the window supplier Scott on speed dial. Like, we got everything they need to serve this person who's been using us forever, and he's Troy's best friend, and he's also a Mason with him. Like, why are we saying no again? Why are we
That's
saying
the
no
hardest word in
to our
business.
friends, to our best? Like, why?
Yeah.
It was so hard, and they had to put someone else in this place who didn't have that history. And they said, hey, here's what we provide. Here's how we provide it. Get the information. And if they ask for these, defer to this. And if they say, but I know the owner, tell him I'm sorry, he's no longer here, or give him a call. He's not in the office right now. Something like that. But also for Austin, we had a struggle converting to a shower only because it is all unique to y'all. And traffic, it might take me 45 minutes to get from window to window in Austin one day, or an hour and a half that next week. And we can't do anything about the traffic from what used to be to what now is. And now the cost of my labor, the cost of my time on the road, the cost of that guy doing anything but something that brings profit accelerates and increases. But my income didn't, because I can't charge $500 for that one window. So Adrian made a good point. If you have that community and the manpower to service it, awesome. But when we were transitioning from at the Austin company and we ran the numbers there, with the amount of traffic growth, building, and new competition coming in to provide what we were built on at a fraction of at an Amazon kind of service to these people, now we had to pivot or die in the face of big corporate box centers taking over certain products we used to kind of rely on. And we made that transition and it was great for Austin, but someone else that is in a smaller community who can walk to their supplier and to their windows, it might be your bread and butter to do that. And that might be your saving grace to not lose that. So running the other numbers besides how much is it per job, but how much does it cost to get to that job? Who do you have to assign to go fix that job when it goes wrong? Is it your 40 an hour guy, 30 an hour guy? Or can your helper guy do that? Does it require that skilled labor? Because that's what you have to factor into the service part of. It's not just finishing the job, it's keeping the customer happy after, and how many hours is it going to take of that profitable employee to go and just keep a already paid customer happy. So those things, we had to consider that, and it took years of growing, but now we're just custom frameless glass and only the best of the best. And that's all we do. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, no, one thing that I heard kind of mentioned a couple of times is that idea of being able to refer people, and that's huge. If there's something that you're not doing, and that's something somebody's looking for, and you can point them in the right direction, that's a huge service. And that's a big thing at GCS that we're always focusing on, like having a lot of good people to refer. Whether it's, someone who does glass work that we're not doing, or if it's just another industry, a tile guy or a plumber or a handyman or anything, to be able to point people in the right direction, because then they remember that experience they had with you, even though you couldn't or wouldn't, do their job. You were friendly and handed them off to the next person, another thing that really is underappreciated is just how complicated it is to grow from like a one-man shop to like just hiring that first person. I mean, it's huge. It is a huge deal. Or to go from even like from 2 to 3, because it takes so much of your resources to pour into that new person, to train them. I mean, someone's going to have to take time away from what they were doing. And if that person is doing everything now and has to like take some time away from doing that to train somebody who really doesn't know anything or just needs to get up to speed, it's a huge cost. If you're, in a shop that's been around for 20 years and you've got, half dozen guys, and you want to add a guy on, it's pretty easy. You put in, the other 6 guys are going to train him, for the most part, right? So it's a big deal going from that, one guy thing or 2 guy thing and starting to grow from there. And once you get like 3 or 4 guys, then it becomes much easier to add another person. But if you got limited resources, it just makes sense to focus what you're doing and really specialize in something.
Well, that's, can you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to come in late. I couldn't get my phone to work with the program or something. I don't know, but I finally got on. It sounds like you guys are talking about how to bring on more people and if it's worth it and all that. Is that kind of the gist?
Well, we're kind of talking about specializing in shower doors.
Okay.
Like kind of saying no to some other things. But yeah, I mean, it's along those same lines, because
Okay.
if you're going to do, a variety of things, you're definitely going to have a variety of help, right?
Yeah. Well, hearing all this, I can just, give you my experience. I mean, I started off by myself and I'm not a big guy and I'm like, these panels are getting big. And I'm not young either. You know, when I was young, I was pretty darn strong, but I'm not anymore. And so I had to hire some people, and it ended up being that, you know, they're your helper and they learn how you do things. And, you know, at some point they can go out and do some of the installs for you, which frees you up. So you almost have to if you want to grow. And the other thing I want to point out is if you're trying to figure out whether you want to hire somebody, think about if you get injured and you can't install, you've got to have a backup or you're done. So, you know, and I had shoulder surgery, both shoulder rotator cuffs done in 2022 or 2021, I guess it was. There's no way I could have done that without everybody being employed, you know?
Oh, that's for sure.
So you got to think about the long term and you've got to grow it. And yeah, I think you get the guys there, it'll allow you to grow. There's always ways to get more business. And if you got the time, then you can figure out how to get the business. So that's my 2 cents.
Nice. So how are you guys going about getting help? You know, I mean, what are you finding as the most successful way to hire a hand?
Well, we haven't lately, but you know, I've advertised, and there's like that job, trying to think of the app, but some of the social apps for jobs, and you have to pay extra if you want to get the quality guys. Don't go for the free stuff. Go ahead and pay the bucks to get the quality candidates. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
Are you talking about like ZipRecruiter or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't ZipRecruiter. There was another one, and I can't think of the name of it offhand. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with probably ZipRecruiter. It'd probably be great. So, you know, that's one way to do it. Also, you know, now if you are in a remodeling council or something like that, or have any colleges that teach trades, we have a local college that kind of teaches the trades, not mere shower door, but you know, construction management type stuff. And those guys that are in school are kind of required to go to the remodeler council meetings just to, you know, they're encouraged to, I should say. And you gives you a chance to meet some of these guys. So we haven't hired anybody from that, but that's on my radar. So
another thing you can do is build your relationships with your vendors, because you can go to your vendors and ask if they know anyone hiring. Because a lot of people will go to vendors to see if glass shops are hiring. They'll always send people over to you. If you're in Home Depot and you see a young kid and looks like an awesome employee, those are people you can approach. Restaurants, you know, stuff like that. If you see, you know, positive attributes in people, it's all just about communication and talking to as many people as you can and reaching out that way, and then you can train them. But
oh yeah,
going back on the sticking to one thing is simplify to scale. It's hard to scale something if you're doing a whole bunch of different things, especially when it comes down to training, because how long is it going to take you to train someone to do shower doors, mirrors, windows, repairs, all that type of stuff? It takes a lot longer to train them to do everything than it would be just to do one specialty thing. And then once they learn that, then they can learn other stuff as well that you add on. But all comes down to simplifying your business to be able to scale and grow from there, and building your map. If you don't have a map, you don't know where you're going. So you're just working in circles. So knowing where you're going, building that map and working it backwards from a 5-year plan all the way down to, you know, what's next month.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. So what
You know,
what are some other things you guys are having luck with as far as finding help? Is there an app? Is there a certain place you're running an ad? Anybody hired anybody lately?
I just hired my first guy through Indeed. Besides that,
Indeed. Oh yeah, that was it. Indeed.
I'd always
Yep.
hired my buddies before, so my probably like eight or nine hires in a row were all just buddies I grew up with. But then I finally, ran through the whole friend group. But so we just got our first guy from Indeed, and he's all right. But it's just you got to train him your way.
How are the friends working out?
Oh, they're great.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little much. At one point, I lived and worked with one of them, and so that was a little much. But yeah, none of them came with glass experience. We just trained them up, and yeah, I mean, they're all rock stars. I mean, they're getting really good
Wow.
at it. So they've all been doing it for a couple of years now. And I mean, they haul ass. They can throw some glass in, but we're real particular with everything. So they've gotten really dialed in. But like the new guy came from a different company, and just the way they install some of the stuff, it's just not as particular or whatnot. And so getting them to slow down and check your cross sight, check your opening.
Right.
Learning curve, but they'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Like, so you got a bunch of your buddies together. It's probably a good camaraderie happening in there and stuff like that. And there's something to be said for that too. If people are getting along, having a good time. I mean, if work sucks, you're not going to do a great job at it. You got to be able to have a little fun and take pride in what you're doing. Like you're saying too, it's like having higher standards actually makes the job more fun, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just half-assing it and not caring and whatnot. Yeah, so definitely helps. So that's always worked well for me. But yeah, I ran through the whole friend group. I don't have any more friends to hire anymore.
You need to make some new friends, man.
I know, right? So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I've tried to hire a couple guys from Indeed in the past, and I've never had good luck. This guy seems pretty decent. But I know we'll need more guys here sooner than later too. So it's trying to figure out where to find them. But I do like finding people and training them up fresh though, instead of them having any experience and having to kick any bad habits or stuff like that. Like Brandon was saying, finding, you see the young guy at Home Depot that looks like he could install some glass, get them going, train them up fresh. Just anyone with good work ethic and a little muscle can do it.
Good attitude, someone who's like friendly and has got a good attitude, is going to be good to your customers.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing. I mean, it's like attitude is something that's really hard to teach.
Yeah.
It's like you can teach someone to read a tape measure, or, drill a hole, whatever, I mean, that's pretty easy, but to have a good positive attitude, to be polite, the soft skills, as they say, right, Bill? Yeah, man, you're looking for that. And then you're golden.
case in point is Chick-fil-A, because that's what they focus on. Hiring people that grew up in a way that they were taught by their parents morality and ethics and things like that.
So where does Chick-fil-A find their people?
Now they start them young, and they got such a great reputation that if a high school kid works for Chick-fil-A, it's actually a good resume job. So, they have no problem getting quality help. So where they get them, I don't know exactly.
Yeah, we found the same thing is true with the Verizon wireless people. They're really sharp. They get paid more money, obviously, than fast food, but very dependable. They do a good job vetting their people as well, but they get asked to work crazy hours. So sometimes it's enticing for them to change trades if they know they have more stable hours and then get the other benefits. But yeah, we've had a few good ones come to us from Verizon. So that was another opportunity. You just look at some of the businesses, hospitality, they treat people real well with the soft skills coming out of hospitality. It's another good source of people.
Is anyone doing any personality tests when they're hiring people?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
We got to do background checks, driving checks. I mean, so
Yeah.
it's hard enough to get a live breathing person to come in for an interview, but then you got to add the background check and their driving check, and then we give them a math test as well.
Yeah, we do all that. And then there's a couple different personality tests that are good, like color code or,
Yeah.
culture index or the DISC test, obviously. But those are good to know because a lot of people can fake it in an interview, right? But you can kind of learn a little bit from a personality test to kind of know if they're going to do good.
It's funny, Brandon, some people come in, they're really good on an interview, but you got to have them write a paragraph about something just to see if they can communicate back to you in writing.
Right.
Some of them can't. And it's not that it's bad. There still could be a technical person, but if they want to grow in the company and they have to communicate to their subordinates, they have to have those communication skills.
Right.
Go
ahead.
Well, I'll say, when you're sending crews out to do jobs and it doesn't go right, they have to give you an explanation what went wrong. And they have to make it clearly. So if another crew comes here, they have an understanding of what happened. And how do they explain that to a customer? Because if they're not explaining it right, the whole job goes wrong.
Yeah.
It can go wrong really bad if they say the wrong things, right?
Super important for sure.
Yeah.
You guys ever have an employee that says you got to fake it to make it? Is there one of those yet?
Fake it to make it.
I had one of those. I'm like, what the heck?
If you
I
have
know how to do this. I know how to do that. And I go, all right, hey, go measure this for me. And then I see him the way he holds his tape measure. I'm like, dude, you know what you're doing? Oh, no. I'm like, what the heck? You got to fake it and make it. I'm like, oh, okay. He didn't last that long. He only lasted like a week. He was done. I'm like, okay. Don't have time for that to lie to me.
What people got to realize too is that it's expensive to hire a person. You may not think that is, but the time and effort and the things you do, especially as you get bigger, if you are doing background checks and all that stuff, they cost money and everything to do all that stuff. So it costs you a lot of money for every hire you do. So got to kind of vet your people the best way you can to make sure you're doing a good hire. So
we try to find those experienced guys, man, because I don't mind training somebody, but there's something wrong with this Generation Z, man. I don't know. I don't know if they don't have it all in their head or what. Something in the beef. I don't know.
I don't know.
Every generation says that about every previous.
That's right.
I think
I don't know, but I got two young ones. One's like 23, 24, freaking awesome. One's my helper. And my helper's ready to make the next step up. I don't want to let him go because then I got to train some other little shit. I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. But yeah, he's or get him a helper, and then I can just sit back and let him do the work. I don't know.
It's all about how you train people and talk to them because everyone's different nowadays. Everyone has the internet and they expect things overnight. They expect it to happen so fast, and the older generation didn't have it, so they're used to waiting for things. So it's just about. But you can have really good employees. I mean, I got a 21-year-old or 20-year-old that does $1.4 million a year in a truck as a lead guy trained by us. So it just depends on the person and how they're treated and how they're trained. But
tell him that the girls in California are hotter and send them my way.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But it's training. If you want to scale, you got to build the school first. I mean, the training is everything. Training is so important. But once you implement training, you will never have to worry about an employee holding you hostage.
Wow.
So once you have training in place, because you're not going to be worried about the next person in line,
How much do you charge if I send one of my guys to your training? As long as you don't keep them.
$1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Hey, Brandon, what was that second one that you said? You said color code and the DISC assessment. What was the other one?
Culture index. Culture index is really expensive though. It's like $15,000 or something like that. I won't
be doing that one.
but it's actually a pretty cool. I went through this thing with the guy, and it was a pretty cool. Like, he literally told me never met the guy, did the test, Zoomed with them later on with one of my coaches, and he literally explained my personality to a T, exactly how I was, and it just, everything clicked in me. So it's almost like he knew me my whole life, which was insane. Just off answering word, just by clicking words. The color code is actually really cool because you actually are picking words that represented you when you were a younger kid, to how you were, going back to your roots on how you acted on things. And then it gives you like a certain color code. There's this, I forget the company, there's a large company on the East Coast that uses it, and they all have name tags. They actually put the color code on
On
each
the name tag.
So they know how to talk to each employee because everybody's different. So
Right.
they know how to approach an employee and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Is the name of that color code?
Color code. I think it's called color code.
Pretty cool.
Color code personality science. So if you just Google color code, it should pop up.
So it's kind of interesting how this topic has come around, Chris.
Yeah, it's kind of mutated.
'Cause it starts off with Brian wondering about just staying with shower doors. It went into growth, and now it's talking about employing and hiring people, and then training their personalities. It's identifying their personalities so know how to communicate. Just kind of interesting to see what rabbit hole we went down.
It's all tied in though, right?
It's all about business, right?
Yeah.
Everything is business. Nothing wrong with it. It's just, I like to see how these go. And then if we can tie back and help Brian, which ultimately is what this started off at. Brian,
Yeah, you got all that, Brian?
I'll tell you a quick story. Maybe it helps you in your decision. So right now you're by yourself. You can do anything, right? You've got yourself and one mechanic.
Mhm.
You'll never lose the knowledge that you've gained doing those other things. But when you analyze the work that you've done over the last year or 2 years, take a look at where your real bread and butter is and what you're making money at, and analyze, okay, what are you going to lose if you're not doing IG units? Are you going to lose some of those leads? If you're going to lose some of the leads and you need those leads for shower doors, then don't give it up, because you don't have to. But if you want to really grow your business, you're in a great area with probably not a lot of competition around you, then be the best at what you do and then just go for it. But again, you're just starting out and you got expenses coming up, but you have low overhead. You don't really have to do that. So every single person here has a different philosophy on their business and what's good for them. The other Brian made that decision, and it was a smart decision for him. Billy's been talking about changing to just shower doors, but hey, their business has been around over 50 years and they have a hard time letting go of the other stuff. But that's okay. They just formed a separate division, kind of like what Adrian did with their company. He did, do a shower door division. So you can always do that. You'll never lose the knowledge that you have. And if the right job comes around, you can always say yes to that. But it's good to have a good focus of what you're the best at, but you can still make money at other things.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have shower doors by Land and Sons, and then we have windows by Land and Sons. And so people can get to know the difference. We put a commercial out on cable TV so we could for our community to see. It's been working great.
Good.
I mean, I've been nonstop ever since we did that, so it's been great.
So let me ask you, Adrian, we talked about this not quite a year, right?
Yeah, I've been quite a bit, yeah.
But I asked you, when you changed it, to start tracking it. So can you look back now and say that it was a good move?
It was, because like you said, it separated from all we did and just shower doors. It was, because a lot of people didn't know we did shower doors, because we'll get people, oh, we didn't know you did shower doors. They'll see our displays and stuff. I'm like, huh, okay. I said glass shop. I mean, hello. I mean, somebody with a common sense probably say, oh yeah, but no, they didn't know we did it. So, and
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. So my cards, everything says shower. I'm gonna get some new shirts that say shower doors by Landa and Sons. And it was not a lot of things I had to change, just the wording to it. I still kept my logo. So,
Sure.
it's still underneath the umbrella of everything. It's just the shower doors is what sticks out.
I thought what
That's
you
what
did
you
was
want.
it was absolutely brilliant. You
Yeah.
didn't really change your logo much. You just modified it a little bit, but it
Mhm.
got the message out there. It was
Yeah.
really good, really good.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the advice, man. It really helped.
Yeah. I was just wondering how, whether you tracked quantity of doors or dollar value, whatever it was that you tracked, you really did see a significant
Oh yeah,
difference.
big time. Like especially last year, the end of last year, it was ridiculous. I didn't know how I was gonna get over last year, but we did. And then I mean, I know I gotta hire somebody else, another, I have my helper, but I like to install. So it's like hard for me not to. It's just like I gotta hang back, but I don't know. It's been a blessing though, and it's been great, since we changed it. So
So Adrian,
I want to see it move. I like to see it grow more, but not to a point where making customers wait a long period of time for the shower, because a lot of people don't like that. That sort of gives a bad reputation. I don't want that reputation to be.
why'd you go
have-
for Landa? I remember it was around a year ago, almost to the T, and you had talked about creating the Apex shower doors versus
Yeah.
under your own name. So what made you ultimately decide to keep the same brand name and just branch it that way? as opposed
Compromising.
to the brand.
Compromising with my dad and my brother. I mean, that was just pretty much it. And it did make sense though to keep the name, because that's people know us. We're like kind of celebrities around here, Like when I go out, I gotta take off my shirt. People, oh, I know you guys. I'm like, okay, hey,
Autographs, all
we,
that.
we get, and then we'll get people like looking at me like I'm in the restaurant. Hey, you did my shower door, didn't you? I go, yeah. We'll be sitting down, and we'll get that all the time. It's like my brother and stuff. Like we all look alike, so it's like kind of like, okay, it's hard for us to be sneaky.
Hey, you put on a baseball cap and sunglasses. You look like Big Papi.
I'm not a
Paparazzi out there trying to take your picture and chasing you down, man.
Yeah, all
You
right.
guys should be doing HGTV reality.
I told my dad that we'd be pretty good because I don't know. I mean, we get at each other sometimes. I mean, it's just me, my brother, my dad, my wife, my mom works here, and then we got our a handful of employees here. But man, it's some drama. I think it'd be like a good daytime TV show for the people that don't want to work and stay home and just watch TV. I think it'd be perfect. I think we'll grab some ratings. I mean, even you guys,
Yeah, just like shot a question for you guys, wrapping up everything that we discussed here. Do you guys have like a number by heart, like for increasing my manpower? Let's say how many shower doors more in the week it's going to be necessary to hire like one more mechanic and one more helper. Let's say this number would be like somewhere between 10, 16 shower doors per week.
Well, it depends how much you charge for it too, right? I mean, I could give you a number, but if you're not charging the right amount, that may still not cover your costs.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on your margins, but for quantity of work, you got to figure you're going to hire two guys. It's not just their pay; it's another truck, it's the insurance, it's the gas, it's the burden that you have to pay in taxes. So you could be looking at 30 to 40 more doors. But again, it depends how much you charge.
Right.
True that.
Victor, you should be able to figure it out mathematically on what you're wanting to pay them per week, per month, per year, and do the math backwards. If you need to pay them 50 grand a year, how much is that per month, per week? And then start doing the math. What's your gross profit on your shower enclosures? And, depending on what margin you carry will dictate how many more you'll have to sell to cover the new guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think if your numbers are right and your profit margins are right and everything, and you're selling good and all that, you probably like our average a week would probably be 10 to 15 showers you should expect from someone. Someone should be able to do 2 to 3 showers a day easy. So, I mean, you're not doing much more. I mean, unless you're working, 10-hour days or something, but you can do, 4. Unless you're an owner, you can do like 6 if you work forever. So
That's right.
Depending on travel and time in between jobs, right?
It's hard to stop working, man. I've been doing this since I was 15, man. It's kind of hard. I tried.
The only thing you do is eat freeze pops. That's the only thing you've been doing. It's a fucking call.
Hey, I opened the freezer and I see them in there, man. I'm like, hell yeah.
You better start training somebody. You're gonna have diabetes by the time we're done with this call.
Hey, these have no sugar in them, all right?
Get out of here.
Those are the
No
worst
sugar.
kind, man. Those are the worst kind.
got that sucralose.
Yeah, that artificial
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
gonna go crazy right now. Hey, I was sick over the weekend. I couldn't eat nothing, so I'm catching up.
Hey, that's what I have right now.
See, that makes a good TV show right there.
Right.
Adrian eating freeze pops.
That's it.
Yeah,
Tune in next week for more health advice here on Shower Door Pros.
From Keith Dobman.
All right, you guys.
Oh man.
Keep up the good work. Always good to see you.